If you're loading huge files into memory in Python, you're doing it wrong. It's a common mistake that can crash your program, burn through memory, and if you run in the cloud, cost you a ton of money. But there's a better way, and it's simpler than you think. Let me show you while teaching you what generators are and why they're perfect for the job. Here's the issue. Most people, when reading a file in Python, try and grab the contents all in one go with something like readlines. It's simple, it's familiar, and it just works. Until it doesn't. Once your files get big enough, this seemingly innocent approach will eat your machine's memory faster than a machine learning model training on 4K cat videos. Don't get me wrong, using readlines is absolutely fine with small files. A couple hundred megabytes is probably absolutely fine, it's only when you get to the gigabytes where things start to turn ugly. Your script slows to a crawl, your RAM usage spikes, and if you're unlucky, you'll crash with an out of memory error. And as I mentioned, if you do this in the cloud, every extra byte is potentially costing you real money. Let's take a look at this simple script. It may look familiar. We have a function and all it does is it opens a file in a context manager, reads all the lines with readlines, prints the amount of memory used, and then returns the value of readlines. I created two fictional log files for this example, one is 27 mega and one is about 9.6 gig. As you can see, with a small file, this approach is fine, even super efficient. But run it on a big file and it's a different story. At first glance, it might seem like your program has crashed just sitting there doing nothing. But what's really happening is that silently in the background it's copying the entire file into your program's memory in a single excruciatingly long operation. So, how do we go about fixing it? As I mentioned, it's simple, we use a generator. Instead of grabbing the entire file at once, you process it line by line as it comes in. This dramatically cuts down the memory usage and can massively improve performance. Here's a better version of the code that uses a generator. Notice how the memory footprint is a tiny fraction of the original version. That's because the generator only loads a single line at a time rather than the entire file. Let's dive into how generators actually work. Notice the yield keyword instead of return. This is where the real magic happens. Like return, it hands control back to the calling code and provides a value. Unlike return, however, it also pauses the function, preserving its state for the next call. This means that the next time you iterate over the generator, it picks up exactly where it left off, with all its local variables and logic intact. It's a bit like hitting pause on a video. When you come back, it starts playing from exactly where it left off, without having to rewind the whole thing. This makes generators incredibly memory efficient, because they only need to keep track of the current state, not the entire result set. Let's take a look at a very simple example to explain exactly how it's working. When you run this, it prints 1, 2, 3. But what's really cool is that the generator is only creating each number just in time, not all at once. This is perfect for scenarios like reading massive files line by line, processing huge data streams, or even generating infinite sequences. And basically the way it's working is for number in my generator, each time my generator is invoked, it goes to the next line of code after the previous yield. So in the first loop, it yields 1 immediately. The next time we hit my generator, it yields 2, and so on. It is this on-demand approach that makes generators so powerful. They let you work with huge datasets without going Pac-Man on your memory, allowing you to scale up without worrying about your machine drowning in I/O. If you like your code to be concise and Pythonic, you'll be pleased to know that you can also create generators using a shorthand syntax called generator expressions. These work a lot like list comprehensions, but instead of creating the entire list in memory, they generate each item on demand one at a time. Here I have a list comprehension and then a corresponding generator expression. Note that both of these use generators inside them, which means you can actually chain generators together. Running the generator expression will give you the same output as the list comprehension, but without the memory overhead of storing the entire list at once. In this case, that's completely useless because that list isn't big. But literally all you need to do to change a list comprehension into a generator is replace the list brackets with tuple brackets. These expressions give you all the benefits of generators with even less code, perfect for those quick memory-friendly operations. If you're still using readlines for big data processing, it's time to stop. Generators are the smart, efficient way to handle large files in Python. They can save you time, memory, and money. What's not to love about it? If you found this video useful, make sure you're subscribed because in the next video we're tackling another controversial topic. Why test-driven development might be holding you back as a Python developer, and what you should do instead. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. And you may even be able to click it right now top left.